Hi, I'm Paige Burks, and I am so happy to be here with you. Today, we're going to talk about how to get it all done when you're only human. In today's society, everybody talks about you got to go, go, go all the time, be super productive. There's no time to sit around. With technology and everything, you got to be on 24/7. And my big point number one here is to accept the fact that you are a human being. You're not a machine. You're not supposed to keep up with your phone and your pad and your computer and everything else and go, go, go. You're a human. You have ups and downs and highs and lows, and that's just the way it is. So you can't keep pushing yourself all day, every day, all night, and expect to still be productive. I mean, there's certain times that you're going to be more productive, certain times you're not going to be productive at all. You're tired. And accepting that is probably the first key to any productivity program. I'm not going to talk about planners and ways to do your to-do list and anything else. I mean, there's a million things out there to do that. This is more of the approach, whatever program you decide to use. This is a way stay healthy, stay happy, and just get what you can get done and accept that you're not going to get it all done. So in terms of how you approach your day, some people are more productive than others, but we all have the same 24 hours. We get the same amount of time, and it's up to us to choose how we spend our time. Everybody makes choices all day long. Whether you realize it or not, nobody makes you think or feel or act a certain way. You're always making choices. You may be doing it subconsciously. You don't even know why. You think somebody's making you do something, but they're really not. Again, you're making that choice. And the key to being productive and feeling good about what you're doing is to make those choices intentionally, with intention. What does that mean? With intention means that you realize you're making the choice and why you're making that choice. So how you feel, how you act, how you think, those are your choices. To do it with intention means, okay, I'm making that choice and knowing why you made that choice. So if you're running around doing everything for everyone else and you think, oh, I have to make everyone happy, I mean, I think I know, we all know where that leads is, other people might be happy, but you're probably not going to be happy. So thinking about what is most important to you and acting, feeling, thinking on what's most important to you. And it's really surprising how few people really know and can put their finger on what's important to them. So that's my big point number two is focus on your top three values. Again, most people have no idea what their values are or what a value really is. So what a value is what is it that's most important to you? It's who you are. These things don't change much over time. It's not money, it's not houses and things and jobs and careers. Whenever you think of those things, your values, you kind of have to ask yourself, okay, what is that? What am I getting out of that? And when you get down to it, it's, values are things like integrity, happiness, creativity, freedom. It's, ways of being, how you are, who you are. They're not things you can hold on to. If you want things, if you want money, what is that money going to get you? What is that job, career, house going to get you? How is it going to make you feel? Those are more of your values. So if you can just nail your top three values, that can make your whole life so much easier. It makes every decision so much easier. You don't have to think, oh no, what am I going to do next? Or, where should I go in this big decision in my life? Or even what am I going to do in the next hour? If you think about how is it going to address and kind of feed your top values, yes and no becomes a lot easier. So the next point, number three, is prioritize based on your values. If you have 100 things to do in a day, you can't get it all done. So you want to prioritize your to-do list. How do you do that? Well, generally speaking, it's not based on, who can I make happy first, or who's going to be happier if I do all these things. It's how can I make myself happy and hopefully make other people happy at the same time. So, you can do a million things in a day for other people, and by the end of the day, you're probably going to just feel spent, maybe a little resentful, just, you don't feel that great. Or you could get one or two really big things done for yourself that really satisfy your values. Even though if it's one or two things, you're going to feel great. You're going to feel a sense of accomplishment. You're going to feel a lot better. So focusing on your values, things that don't meet your values, you can let them go. Usually the things you let go, the world's not going to end if you don't get them done today, and sometimes it won't end if you ever get them done. So again, focusing on those values. The next thing is to do one thing at a time until it's done. We all, I'm a mom of 3 kids and I work full time and I do a million other things. So multitasking seems like it should be part of my life, and I've learned that things don't go so well when I try to multitask, because I try to incorporate a lot of mindfulness in my life, and when I know when I'm multitasking, I'm not present for any one thing. If I'm trying to write an email and listen on the phone and then, talk to somebody at the same time, I have no idea what I'm doing on any of one of those things, and they're all a mess. So doing one thing at a time. So when you prioritize your list, you pick what you're going to work on and work on that one thing, hopefully until it's done, depending on how big of a thing it is. If it's too big to be done in whatever period of time you have, break it down. But just work on one thing at a time. And I know everybody thinks, how can I do one thing without, I have interruptions. Everybody has interruptions. We have phones, people, meetings, whatever. Those things are going to happen. And so my next big point is accept distractions as part of the process. That stuff's going to happen. The question is, what are you going to do with it? Again, looking at your values and your priorities. How do those distractions feed into what you have to get done? You're always making a decision on how you're spending your time. So if a phone call, email, something comes in, and you change from what you're working on to whatever that distraction is, you're making the choice that that distraction is more important than what you're working on. That thing somebody else wants is suddenly more important than what you're trying to work on, what you want. And start to notice that throughout your day. One of the things you can do with those distractions is create boundaries. You can turn off your phone. If you're trying to focus on that one thing you're working on, turn off your phone, turn off your email, turn everything off. I like to kind of keep all my technology in another room if I'm trying to focus on that one thing, especially when I'm doing things with my kids. They know, other people can feel that they're just not the most important thing when you're picking up the phone and looking at your email while you're trying to talk to them and they are trying to get your attention. And, it works, whether it's kids or adults, it's all the same. So distractions are part of the process, but figure out how you're going to handle those distractions in a way that's in line, again, with your values and your priorities. The next thing, my big point, is that failure doesn't exist. Okay, we're trying to get a million things done. The distractions come in. Nobody's going to be perfect in handling them. Just things aren't going to go the way you wanted. You're not a failure if you can't get everything done. You're not a failure if you didn't follow all the rules perfectly on whatever prioritization or planner or whatever it is. To me, there's no such thing as failure. Everything in life, every experience is an experiment. So if things didn't work out the way you wanted, learn from them. If whatever boundary you set didn't work, I like to close my door, thinking that'll keep people out. Well, maybe it doesn't. They just decide to walk in anyway. So I put signs on my door saying, really, don't come in. After a while, they did anyway. And I said, really can't come in. It's, whatever it takes. That first thing isn't a failure because I learn and I change whatever I do so that I end up with a different outcome. So if you're not getting this much done in a day, maybe your expectations are a little too high given whatever the distractions are, or whatever else, how you're feeling in a day. So again, there's no failure. You're doing just fine every day. The next, which gets to my next point, number 7, is know that you're always doing your best. Some days are good, some days are bad. You're not going to get everything done perfectly every day. Some days your energy's high, you're just, the powerhouse, just one thing after another. Other days your energy is low, your brain is scattered, you might get one thing done. That's life. That's part of being a human being. You're not a machine. Again, you just go with the flow, basically. And just accept some days are better than others. The next point is being flexible. Again, you can't control about 99% of what happens around you. And sometimes you don't have a lot of control about, how you work and how your energy is. So being flexible, if you decide the whole world has to be this one certain way, my whole day has to go this one certain way, or else, I'll fall apart. And whether you're angry, anxious, whatever negative emotion it brings up, I would say it's going to be like that every time you expect the world to revolve around you. We all want that, and that can't happen for every single person. So being flexible, going with the flow, accepting what happens. Maybe you get halfway through whatever you were working on, something blows up, you have to shift focus, something else more important came up. That's just how life goes. You can't get mad about it, you can't go crazy about it, because that's just what happens. So going with it and saying, change my plan, okay, new plan, being flexible and flowing. My next big point is to celebrate. When you do get things done, whether it's a little tiny thing or a huge project, celebrate. And it can be anything from just taking a moment to say, wow, I accomplished that. I feel really good. Or, maybe you go get a massage, you take a walk, or, just take a little time away from what you're working on. Whatever it is, if it's a huge, project, go have a vacation or something. But whatever's right for you, but celebrate, acknowledge that you got something, did it well. And, you need that positive reinforcement to keep going. You're not a machine. Machines don't need rewards. People do. We need something to make us feel good. Besides, it's in line with our values and it's something we want to accomplish and we feel good about it. We'll acknowledge feeling good about it. So, and my last point, number 10, is accept that you'll never get it all done. I always use the quote with a lot of people that I work with, that your inbox will be full on the day you die. There's always more to do. You can't get it all done. If you get it all done, at the end of a day and you think, woohoo, and you go celebrate, you wake up, you show up the next day, you got another list. I think it's pretty darn rare for anyone to basically really have nothing to do. Our minds are always going, we're always thinking of, what can make our own lives better? What do we need to get done, whether it's at work, at home, for other people, whatever it is, there's always more to do. You will never, ever get it all done. Again, you're always making choices every day on how you spend your time, how you feel, how you think. If you look at what you're doing and feel horrible about it, you can decide to change the way you think about it, how you feel about it. It doesn't matter to anybody else really how you decide to feel about something. So, why not feel good about what you're doing? Why not feel good about, where you're doing it, how you're doing it, how you feel about it? Again, it's all those intentional choices. If one of your core values is happiness, choose to be happy with whatever you're doing. Choose to be happy with the distractions. Choose to be happy with not getting it all done, or, something crashing in and, making it so you can't get anything done. Just choose to be happy. Choose things that are in line with your values. So again, focus on your values, do your best, know you can't get everything done, and go with the flow and just kind of accept what comes. And life will be good, and you won't get everything done, but you'll get the important things done. So thank you so much. It was great being here with you guys.